supposedly. Now, that's the good check, right? Like, are we actually live on LinkedIn? Yeah, I'm checking LinkedIn. Um, oh yeah, it says we're live. There it is. Yep. Wow, I'm watching the feedback too. Like from LinkedIn or from this? Let's see. That I couldn't tell you. Let's see. It should. I wish I knew. The other problem is I don't know which window it is. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it does show me chat from both. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, folks. Um, oh, you know what? What was I thinking of? Yeah. Oh, really? Nice. It's a first. It's a first on LinkedIn. We figured out LinkedIn finally. We had to use a whole other streaming thing that's part of, thankfully, part of the same platform that I use for other stuff. So no extra cost. Um, no, but I was looking at. So here's this is one thing. I don't know if we even had a chance to talk about it, but the whole everyone is like every major model is purchasing natural language for training their model. Like they're all doing it. Like so I forgot who Google struck a deal with very recently for Bard, and then Microsoft struck a deal. Oh, I think Google struck a deal with the New York Times, and I forget who Microsoft struck a deal with, and then OpenAI struck a deal with Associated Press, right? I I want to say it's in the billions. Um, um, so hilarious that AP is hosting its own story, right? I wonder if it's just an agreement. It can't possibly be. There's got to be a. I don't know because OpenAI is a nonprofit, right? So technically, they wouldn't have anything to give them. I guess. Not sure how that works, but let's see. So I want to say, uh, is it a deal? Think so. Size company, Google expand, something like that. Digital marketing products. No, it's different. Could be. It could be. Um, but in any case, I just thought I just think it's weird because it's like, well, why? I think we were talking about this. Like, why claim that it's supposed to be an assistant to help you if in reality it's you're working really hard to make it like very human in terms of how it writes. But at the same time, you're going to sit there and turn around and say, ah, no, it's not meant to replace humans. It's just meant to help them out. Okay. And then I forgot who, yeah, yeah. And that's really nothing for them. I forgot what the deal was when they bought way back when, I think when they bought YouTube. Like, I don't know how, I mean, like they've got all sorts of paid stuff on there. They've got paid accounts, they've got streaming, they've got um, what do you call it? They've got ads running on there all the time. Unless that just covers YouTube costs. Sadly, now. Mhm. Really? Wow. Damn. I mean, that really does suck if that's the case, if they are barely breaking even on it. Like, yeah, yeah, that and they're working it into it's going to become a part of like Google Works or what is it workstation workspace. So I mean, I'm sure I don't know if it'll get as far as Copilot. And like that's different. Like Microsoft has gotten just really good at embedding this kind of stuff. It's somewhat the same as Salesforce, right? Like they're one thing that they're good at is embedding software into their magnanimous monster of a tech stack. Like, uh, yeah, yep, right, yeah. Unfortunately, like, well, look, I keep trying. I keep coming back to this, and I hope that my guess is right. I kind of think so because I'm seeing like more features, right? Every probably 2 weeks, I think, or like I think oh, weird. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. That sucks. Let's see, hold on if I can is that gonna be a permalink? No. All right, let's see if this works. Because they're saying they can't hear you, and I'm assuming that it's because it can't share audio. So copy this link real quick. It's in our chat. All right. I think so. I think so. I'm not sure. But I got to end this and then see if you can pop on that. Thank you, Aaron, by the way. Cool.
Hello, it is me. I will drop
There
off
you
the.
go.
Wow, look at me. I'm finally here. You can all see me. Ah, for too long, for 2 whole weeks, I have been
She's been
trapped
hiding.
as a voice.
She's just been a voice on. We've been doing this from like Google Meet. So like prior to this, we I would have her open on Google Meet, and then I would have like the Streamlabs open on the other side, and that's how everything was able to work. Was that you guys were able to hear her through the output of what I was doing, And I didn't realize, thank you, Aaron, for pointing that out. Didn't realize that this stream software, we had to switch to using a different platform. And I didn't realize it wasn't picking up like outside audio. So I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much, Aaron.
Does it look like, at least, does it look like a studio sort of thing on your end? Or does it just
Yeah,
look like
like
you're
it
part
looks
of it?
whatever we're seeing right now is what is showing up on YouTube and LinkedIn. So you can
Oh,
see me when like it's like highlighted when I'm speaking and stuff. I know you're just gonna see my like really weird like facial expressions now, so I actually have to like be careful what I look like.
I
Uh
know. I was thinking about that before we jumped on. I'm like, okay, well, you can't see enough of my shirt, so it's fine.
I mean
not a
that's
big
why I
deal.
that's why I zoomed in my camera.
Right? Let's see. Yeah.
Alrighty. Was it for anyone who missed it, I guess I was just saying like how what do you call that? Salesforce is a bit of like a Frankenstein kind of platform, like um and because it's such a Frankenstein platform, it's so easy to kind of just like inject like these new technologies into it a lot easier than it is with HubSpot. And they have this like first mover advantage kind of thing, right? Because of that. But HubSpot is kind of like it's almost like Apple, I guess, where it's like Apple usually isn't the first to do the thing, but like when they do
Right.
the thing, it is like pretty sleek and polished.
Yeah.
But based off of like what I'm seeing from ChatSpot so far, it's a little bit like it's I don't know. Like there needs to be like more stuff that they're doing there.
Yeah, it's getting there. They're, the fact that that's what kind of turned me on to the fact that, well, they're putting some time into it as like the image generator, right? So they are definitely trying to get a lot of generative AI pushed into this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, one, being cognizant of what's going on right now, right? So like OpenAI is getting sued left and right for how much content it's garbled up into its
Yeah.
model, and whether or not now it's like it's the same thing as Napster, right? Now
Yeah.
everybody is concerned about their content and where it's going and who's able to get a hold of it. So we're going to end up going through the same thing as that. I hope it's nowhere near as severe, but I'm sure it will be because it's the future. Um, and I don't know what that means for being able to do things like discover competitors and do company research and stuff like that. I don't know
Well, that'll be fun
how that's
because
going to
now
function.
we can get your reactions live on stream as like things are working or are not working. And
Oh man,
this isn't like a session to like bash ChatSpot or anything. It's more of
no,
like exploration of like how far has it come so far, and also where you can actually use it and where you can't use it, and where like obviously like chat gpt does like a better job and stuff. And I guess like we can discuss a little bit of our hopes for the platform. So I guess like let's get into the experimentation stage of this thing. Also, I noticed my video like is lagging a bit. I think that's my computer, so I'm just gonna like turn off my video. Actually, I'm not avoiding you guys, by the way. I think there's just like it's just using up a lot of bandwidth on like this
I
one
was gonna
hub
say
on my
like,
computer.
right, like I've got 1K down and like 30 or 40 meg up, so I'm not sure. Like, I know that that's good enough for streaming. I'm not sure if it works back to the
Yeah, you know
40.
exactly. Like basically, my computer's like, no, no, no camera
You have
for you.
to. We need to get you like an image, an avatar to put up there.
Yeah, can I actually put like a something up? Well, I'll figure that out. You go on ahead with like your chat spot like
Okay,
exploration.
okay. I wanted to do something interesting though. Is like while we're working with this, is I wanted
Put chat
to
GPT on the side, or is that what we're
GPT,
doing?
but with GPT's chatbot plugin. All right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be interesting. Because all I did was play with ChatSpot directly, not so much as the actual like plugin.
And I'm gonna give it a leg up, so I'm gonna give it link. No. I'm gonna give it
Web
scraper
pilot.
because
Web pilot's working now, by the way. Again,
is it okay?
yeah.
wasn't wasn't doing too well last time, but okay. So we're gonna. I mean, this is supercharged, right? Because it's
Yeah.
chatspot plus scraper plus web pilot. So it's not exactly a fair fight, but it's just to show what the difference is and my hopes for where chatspot is going. Let's say, because I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure that what we've put together on GPT is actually going to be any better than this. Let's see what it's like. So we'll start with the image generator. It is cool. It's definitely cool to play with. And it's obviously what it sounds like. I've kind of played around with it a little bit. I'm a huge Midjourney person, and I've been using that since inception. So I can honestly tell you that there are no other image generators that are as good as Midjourney. I don't care what other
Yeah.
people say. I've tested almost every single one of them, and nothing comes close. The amount of work that you have to go into to get better is like to train your own model with like Leonardo or something.
Yeah.
But okay, so that having been said, let's take a look at what we can do here. Do a wild rose of a mouse. Now let's say
I remember asking it to like make me like a mad scientist thing and make it look Asian and stuff, and they did okay. Not
yeah.
not amazing, but it was okay.
I mean, look, Stability AI, or I should say, Stable Diffusion is a free software that you can use, right? So that's not bad. It's really not bad.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit too much depth of field, like up front, because it looks like the focus is somewhere around here as opposed to the rose itself. But even the rose, right? That's kind of looks mashed up. Doesn't look like a rose.
Yeah.
And these are kind of tulips, but not necessarily. Um, so yeah, I am hyper harsh on this kind of stuff. I do like that they have both the generation time or the length of time, and then they have like whether or not it was what you expected or not, which that's not really what I expected. But
You just- it
I'm
would
not,
be nice if they could ask us, why maybe, because then that might help their models.
right. I
Because
want to
all
see
we're
what it
giving is like
does.
a happy face and a sad face, and a lot of times I've just been giving it sad faces.
This is interesting, right? So I don't know why it gave me data about that feedback for HubSpot. If I'm clicking image generator and I'm in the thing, I kind of expect this. So that I think a lot of users are going to expect this too. They're going to expect separate instances of their chats because that is super common to every other natural language processing model is that your instances are separated. Um, I don't want to do that. Anyway, so I was definitely expecting that to be an image of Super Mario as opposed to like an explanation of what it was.
Yeah.
But I just want to see if it can do like well-known things or if it's going to reject it. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Wow.
you know, the rough concept is there, right? Like the overalls, and he's got a mustache, and he does have a big red hat, and he does have oversized gloves and shoes. But yeah, so you can see how well that works. I'm not sure, but look, this chatspot was not built for image generation, so it's cool that it's in there. It's a little gimmicky right now, but I can say this much, and I'm sure Christine can verify. There has never been a beta feature for HubSpot that wasn't like not necessarily that wasn't awesome, but that like underperformed or something like that. Like every beta
Yeah.
feature, I've never thought twice about enabling them. Like I've never had an unstable beta feature. So, and that to
Yeah.
me is it's pretty huge.
Yeah, I think with HubSpot, it's like when they release a beta, it is actually a beta, not like when, for people who are into gaming like I am, it's like they'll like put something in beta and there are things that are still like super broken. Like I don't know if you've like heard of, like, for example, Diablo 4 or something, like just core things about different classes. You can't even like they're like really big bugs and they still don't fix it. With
Right.
HubSpot, thankfully, like they're really good at that as like a, what do you call that, a tech company.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely try to stay as far ahead as possible.
Yeah.
Um, so right now I'm basically only messing around with. So I will say that I don't know if ChatSpot plugin. Let's see. Actually, and I did forget to do this with ChatSpot, but I don't. I don't know that it matters. Let me see. This is going to be a curveball. Let's start a new chat. If that's easy. Yeah. Okay. So we'll try a new chat. I wonder. Okay, cool. We'll do discover competitors and go back to Marketo. I like this. I didn't have to type marketo.com. It automatically assumed it. So that's very cool. Okay.
I think it
so,
only works for like big companies though.
Yeah, it's only going to work for very well known, right? Like especially if it's well known in any sort of public space where you can do additional research, like how much it earned last year. Like it has to, like, all public earnings and stuff like that. The more well known it is, the obviously the better it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Create a top 10. Let's see. So it's using ChatSpot to do it. This will be interesting because I wonder if it's going to spit back the same list or not.
I feel like it's a little
Wow.
bit better, right? Because it, at least with Chat GPT, it formats it with the actual, like, if you do it directly on like HubSpot, like it formats it like this, but as nice as it looks, it isn't as like usable or like as summarized as you'd like it to be. It's like, thanks for the number. It's just like it's just spitting out data, like not something that like I can actually take action on.
Oh, okay. You mean like in terms of telling you about the company itself?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, the good thing with like Chat GPT as well is like if you really wanted it to be in a table like that, then it would
Mm,
format it in a table and then it might like add some additional things, right?
true.
Like it kind of like goes like one or two steps further in assisting you, like an actual assistant. Because as us humans, like sometimes we'll say we want one thing, but honestly we probably want like two three other things in addition to that.
Right.
With like ChatSpot directly from the interface, it seems a little bit binary how it like takes your what do you call that, your prompts, versus with Chat GPT you have like that model directly just helping you through
Yeah,
that
you're
like
able to.
interface.
Yeah, you're able to just kind of go back and forth with it like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you needed to know this information, you could pull that easily enough. It's nice that you get it up front. Clearly, having this built into your CRM helps, but like, so in other words, like adding to HubSpot, like I would think that this is only okay. So from a experienced user, you know, I don't know, whatever, 4 or 5 years in, uh, viewpoint, I don't
Yeah.
see this as being super helpful. If I had just started a business and bought HubSpot to like use that as part of my business growth, I
Yeah.
would think that it's a little bit more helpful because a lot of times we ask people if they understand who their competitors are. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. And if they don't, then you can use this to pull that list, and then you can actually add it to your instance, to your
Yeah.
portal, and then create a list based off of that to start using as a competitor list to keep out of your system, maybe. But
Yeah.
that's where the use case comes up. I don't really like, so all right, if we did additional research here, let's see what that looks like. And followers on Twitter. Okay. Wait, so why the two different numbers? Sure. Trust me, folks, we ain't verified yet. Oh my god. Let's just choose them. But we gotta go way back, otherwise be too young. Oh, that's all right. Sure. Well, we actually want to keep that like legit, right?
GPT with me. Yeah. We gotta claim it for everyone else.
Yeah,
What if somebody
right.
watching just claims our Twitter
While we're
handle?
setting up our Twitter account? Yeah, that would suck pretty bad, guys. Please don't. Let's see,
Watch
outdoor.
Aaron just like do it.
There we go. Technology. Yeah, it would not surprise me. Like, just as a joke, like, I'll give it back to you guys. Don't worry. For $500.
I know. I was about to say.
Oh my gosh, can we just sign up? Do I have to? Can't you just go without following people? Wow, you seriously have to follow like 3 things?
You just follow TechCrunch. What the heck? What is this new onboarding process?
Right? You must do these things. And then in the end, I didn't even get to the link I was after.
Get your blue check mark.
Let's see. It says 1.7 million followers, right?
Yeah.
But what is this now? Followers on LinkedIn. So that should probably say LinkedIn.
That should tell you like. Oh wait, the Twitter thing. Look at so go back. It says Twitter, and then the number of followers there.
Right. So this one should be LinkedIn and those number of followers.
Yeah, the number of followers should have been like next to the LinkedIn there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a LinkedIn link right there.
Right.
But is that based off of like the fields on HubSpot? Because like, are there fields for followers? Now I have to like look at this.
There is a standard field for like LinkedIn ID, but not for like number of followers.
Yeah. But then I guess like because there's a standard for LinkedIn ID, I guess the concept is that the default thing that you're supposed to assume is that anything related to social media metrics would be like LinkedIn specific.
Let me see. What?
Which one was it? We're Genius?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we want to call this? Research. So like it's possible to do things like that. I would never ask chatspot. Well, I mean like, so even this response, right? I don't even know how to get back to that. That's another thing. So how would I get back to this? I would say, show me the research for Genius.
Let's see if it can actually like.
Does it remember? Okay, good.
Okay.
Like we're getting, like it's getting better, guys. Like it's not like I'm really trying to, you know, give it the marks it deserves. I'll happy face that. This was similar to what I expected, not seriously close, but it's similar. All right, let's see what GPT's been doing. Oh, wow. That is so not what I expected.
I think you have to be specific about like what you want to like look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like be like, oh, I want you to do some like research on like their social media metrics,
Okay.
you know, what their industry is or something like that.
Let's see. I love when people are like, oh, but it takes so much time to copy paste. I'm like, why is it taking you so much time to copy paste? Is really the question there.
I mean, the hack to this is to have one window on this side and one window on the other
Yes.
side, and then, like,
Yeah.
have a mouse where you have the side buttons mapped to, like, control
Yes.
C and control V. I mean, like, I'm just saying this because I used to
No,
do a
no,
lot
it's
of data
definitely.
entry.
Oh, see, look at that. So why didn't it put this together?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like, the LinkedIn link is right up there, it's just, like, the followers are not.
My bad. I didn't even see. Yeah. My wife would be like, yeah, of course you didn't see. You never pay attention to anything. Okay. Let's see. You should see me this morning at breakfast. It was so bad. Like when we moved here, we had bought this bench and set it, and it's right outside the front door. And her and I sat down on it. We're both like, oh, this is so nice, great bench, perfect placement, and all that. And then like 3 weeks later, I'm looking outside and I go back and look at her and I'm like, where did we get that bench? And she just looks at me like deadpan and she's like, you cannot possibly be serious right now. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, I don't know where that bench is supposed to go.
Hey, it used chatspot, so
Yep. So now it gave us the
I mean,
same.
yeah, though the LinkedIn thing is, like, doesn't
Still, like,
show the
won't show you
followers.
followers. It's almost like
Uh,
that's perma broken from the inside or something.
yeah, because like I said, it seems like they're assuming, like, the company records are gonna be associated to, like, one company profile, and that, like, whenever you're researching about that company, like, you're only interested in the metrics on the LinkedIn profile. So it's, like, showing LinkedIn ID with, like, the actual, like, LinkedIn followers as its own field.
Mm. Yeah.
What if you ask it
Yeah.
for, like, Facebook? Like, what does it do? Does it do the same thing as, like
Let me see if I use non-specific language too. What?
where did that come from? Yeah, so sometimes it does this, right? Like I kind of, like, sent you through a screenshot earlier today where
Yeah.
it was doing buyer persona research for me, and then I asked it to, like, reformat it to be more readable, and then suddenly it was talking about, like, how the sky works, and I'm like, "Where what?" I mean, thanks, but, like, that wasn't what I was asking
Not
for.
exactly what I was expecting. Yeah. Gave you a nice little poem though. So
Yeah.
can't look up stuff like not yet, at least, right? Can't do like independent search, it seems like.
Yeah.
Um, let me see.
But I mean, if you're using the Chat GPT instance where you have, like, multiple plugins, then it might be a little bit better, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, the
Let me
recent
see.
news thing is also, another thing it does.
At least when you're using GPT, it understands, yeah, see, it'll enable web pilot. So it's not just using chatspot now. It'll go and use the additional plugins to fill in the blanks. This will make me look bad, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's yeah.
it actually looked it up. Can we look at the Genius Facebook page? Oh, yeah, there it is. It even gives you
Yeah,
the
of
link
course.
right there. You didn't even ask for it.
And so now we're talking about like whether or not the information is
The info is
accurate too.
yeah,
And it is.
yeah.
So in terms of like, so that's something you guys have to understand is the reason that I
Ah,
say like use pro version and get these plugins is so that you can avoid the whole like hallucination stuff. Like this goes around all of that because you're pulling the actual data from their Facebook page, right?
yeah. I mean, like,
So yeah,
ChatSpot is built on, like, GPT-4, but, like, I think the
yeah.
hallucinations just come from, like, however it's coded in the background for these prompts, right? Because I think,
It's a
like
matter of
yeah.
limitation of it's twofold. It's limitation of information coupled with I'm my goal. Like this is why not being specific with LLMs altogether is a really tough thing. Its goal in all of these cases is to be as helpful to you as possible. That's its end goal. It will accomplish that by any means necessary, even if that means faking the response that it gives you. because it just wants to help, and
Mm,
it wants you to give it the feedback of that was very helpful, right? So
y-
yeah, it's basically it's following its subroutines. Like, well, I'm supposed to help them out, so I just make some
yeah, I'll
stuff
just do
up.
my best.
Yeah, hopefully this
They asked
helps.
me to they wanted me to reformat it. I'm not really sure how to reformat it, so I'll just tell it about sunlight.
Yeah, and that's why they stamp this anytime that you ask it like any sort of stat based stuff, anything like that's research based, it will almost always give you this answer of some type in the end where it's like, okay, this is your answer, but I'm not so sure like it's the right answer. It's just kind of is what I found out, so you might want to go check it out on your own too.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a nice way of being able to for OpenAI to say like, no, 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 it's not the model. The person is at fault for using the data,
Yeah,
which is how it should
exactly.
be. Okay, so we were able to crawl to the Facebook page with the GPT-4 with add-ons, not so much with chatspot. Um, so recent OpenAI news. This is cool, right? Because it's actually doing it by logging. Oh, that's that's a story I didn't even know about.
Wow.
That's pretty. That's pretty. That's pretty major. I'm not gonna get into it right now, folks, but I'll definitely post about it later. Like, that's nuts. Let's see. Interesting.
Uh,
So it
yeah.
pulls blog articles as well. It's nice. Now I wonder what. So it says type news blog. What's people? Like it didn't
People
talk to
people
anyone.
no, that no, it's like the type of the category of news, I guess. So like the news is about it's more of like a people piece.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
can you open it? Try opening it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it says like Dave Wilner or something, right?
yeah. It's
Yeah, okay.
the
So he just
so it's
stepped down.
maybe
So
it's
it's like a
about people.
yeah, it's about people. You know how like, back in the day when like all of us were on MSN News and then it'll have like a people section, like
Right.
latest events section. So I guess it's trying to do that to some degree. But then they also have like a blog post section because I guess like blog is more of a what do you call it? Just an opinion piece.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, because I can't tell. It's definitely not a source thing. It's definitely a category thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, you know, well, I guess internally is not a big deal because like, we just use naming convention, but um, it is good to know. You get publisher, you get published date. There's more results, just a larger list. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Now
Though
that's
from what I'm
interesting.
seeing, it's like it's only pulling from really big media networks, I
Sources.
guess. Which I mean
Yeah.
it could be like a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you like doing your media research.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice because it is going like global. It's not
Yeah.
really staying U.S., and that's the way I like to look at it. I don't like looking at just our stuff because our stuff is so
Yeah.
slanted, and it's not slanted like politically, guys. It's slanted on a tech scale. Like if you don't understand how a lot of these big guys play and like how they rub elbows and shove each other to the side and stuff, it kind of sucks. Um, but
One
if you
of the
go outside of our country, it's totally different, and it is very refreshing to see like outside takes on what's going on.
yeah, I mean, especially like for example, like me in smack in the middle of Hong Kong. Like they don't like none of the AI companies or very few of the AI companies like giving us access to anything really.
Mm. Yeah,
So, like, whenever there's a tool that's, like, immediately accessible in Hong Kong, I'm just like, "Yay! They they finally
they let
noticed
us.
us." I know. Otherwise, I'm actually, like, having to use VPNs or, like, other methods to actually, access these tools. I'm just
I'm
curious,
wondering.
though, if you're gonna do, like, company research, right?
Yeah.
Can you try like asking it about a specific region maybe, and like let's see like what that's like on ChatSpot versus ChatGPT?
Okay. So are we? What are we
Just
asking for?
like open AI news in Asia.
Okay. Are we doing a can you show? Technically, this should be possible. It was able to pull news before.
Yeah.
It cited sources.
And I'm also curious like whether it can understand your natural language versus
Nope,
something
this is
else. No.
exactly the list that it gave us
Yeah.
before.
It just like it just listened to the open AI part of it.
Yep. Yeah. See, so this is where, so again, like, this is why I was saying in the beginning, like, it's not necessarily a fair advantage. It's a little bit, it's quite an unfair advantage because, again, using GPT, you're going to be able to go around the limitations of ChatSpot, and it's going to
Yeah.
use additional plugins to fill in the blanks.
Though,
Let's see.
like, I'd be curious if you can like ask it to summarize it in a table format by like category or something, right? So
Oh,
it
you know,
looks kind of a little bit more like ChatSpot.
okay.
Or I guess you could like edit your prompt at the top, right? Because it's like news about Asia,
True.
summarizing and blah blah blah.
Uh, see, that's like, so this is where it starts getting like, just over, like, just overall better. If, and ChatSpot, I don't know, right? Like, I don't think, it seems like it can, right, use additional, um, it can use additional links or outside links uh, in order to do a little bit of research or go like the extra mile.
It's like
But
country, but Asia is the
Asia,
country.
like, that's not really,
Just be like, just tell it off. It's like Asia's not a country.
right. Yeah, that's
Okay, because
oh,
of the
maybe,
the domain.
yeah, that's weird.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe you can say like country it's relevant to.
Let's see. Let's see. I
Yeah.
like being able to ask GPT logical questions, right? Wow.
It's just giving you
So
sass back.
this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, though, right? It wanted to
Yeah.
help me so much that it was willing to lie to me in order to give me an answer that it thought I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's where the hallucination happens. It's not provided in the search results. So that makes sense because, like, when you go to news articles, it doesn't show what country it is necessarily, right? And it says
Yeah.
.asia, so it's
It
just
doesn't like
assuming that.
it doesn't go as far as like Web Pilot doesn't go like
You know
multiple
what?
links into it, right?
From various, I didn't say those countries. I said from Asia. So it probably just took
Yeah,
that
maybe that's it.
literally and assumed, like, oh, he means from Asia, like .asia websites.
Ah, that's true. Because maybe it's looking at the end of the domain to like determine whether the news is from Asia or not.
Right. See, so there's an
Okay, that's
instance
gonna
where
say
like,
India. India. There you go.
nice.
Oh,
How
and then the
many?
time
Okay.
change. Now it's actually like telling you like how many days ago.
Right. This is
Before it
exactly
was
what
like
I had
putting
expected.
yeah, before it was like just doing like not applicable.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So the issue
Nice.
was that like the source data that we were like asking it to grab wasn't
We
specific
weren't.
enough.
Yep.
I like how the country of origin says LinkedIn Global at some point.
Oh wow. Must be. Let's see. Yeah. .n. So it's using the what is that? The domain, right? It's
Yeah.
not even doing it by, like I said. I mean, the country isn't specified when you're writing an article online. It's just like date maybe, and sometimes they write the time of it, but it's usually
Yeah,
just the date.
though if they were to push it further, like if they because it seems like they're using the end of the domain, like the dot something. So
Right.
if like if I were to like increase my expectations from ChatGPT, it's like also looking at like the front of the domain because sometimes you have like indiatimes.com, for example, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Or in Hong Kong, I don't know. Oh no, in Hong Kong we do have like .com.hk, so we do have that. So yeah.
That was fast. That's probably the fastest response I've seen. Let's see.
I wonder what they're where they're grabbing that data
Right?
actually. Cuz like it's
Well,
so yeah, it's so it must be like actually super simple or something. Doesn't they don't have to like reformat it.
that's interesting.
It probably
It
just gives
only.
it out in text or something.
Let's see. Amazon's probably the same thing. So let's take a look at.
Yeah, I have to say though, like, yeah, this doesn't really work for smaller companies as much.
No, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then let's see if you could, right? So that's another thing is let's see. You can't do it with regular, right? But if we made a new one, we did code interpreter. Here's where you might be able to take this data. Um, let's see. I don't know if it's gonna be able to do this. Would be awesome. Because this is what I really imagine is like being able to work in tandem. And this is why I talk all the time about like know the different models, know how all of them work. Like don't just okay. There we go. Nice.
Wow. Big
So that's the thing is
funding
like,
in January.
yeah, yeah, that was Microsoft dumping in. God, I forget now.
Here, take all our money so we can put it in our apps.
Right. Basically. Yeah, that's nuts. So, like, yeah, so that's something where this would have been a very cool thing to see, right? Now, you don't have the details to know which round is which, but I'm also not an expert at creating graphs, so I'm sure that there's a particular type of graph that you could use that would tell you all of that information.
I mean, if you
Um,
had code interpreter, maybe it would suggest like different graphs for that information, maybe.
no, this is code interpreter.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of like about code interpreter as well. Like you can just like plug in like some data and be like, okay, so what insights can I grab from this, or what
Right.
useful graphs, and it will already like know kind of what you can do.
Hmm. Yeah, because it still broke it down into its individual parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that aspect of it because I'm not seeing that anywhere. But
Yeah.
sure. So
So we have about
that's a
like,
case for what's up.
yeah. I said like we're about to have like we have like 8 minutes left in the show. I was like I
Okay.
wanted to see like maybe we could compare like the buyer persona generator versus like
Oh yeah.
what we previously did with the buyer personas, because you kind of saw what happened when I was asking it
Yeah.
for buyer
Yeah.
personas. I want to see your reaction to it.
So let's do street research. Um, so they
I
don't
think the
really
buyer
have that.
persona one shows up if you go into like a portal. So if you go to the top right,
Oh,
like where
I
your
don't. Let's
icon
see.
is or
Right.
something, connect a HubSpot account. Just do whichever, and then it just opens up like the buyer persona stuff, I think. What? Why is it not
Yeah.
here?
There.
Hello.
Someone recording.
I think was it in HubSpot CRM or prospecting?
Oh wait, yeah, maybe it was.
That's where. There you go. Buyer
Okay.
persona generator.
Okay, so the company
All right.
name is
Okay.
so
But
so
so you can see the prompt that's being created at the top. So you have to like
oh
fill it
nice.
in. You have to fill it in so that it makes sense with the sentence at the top.
Got it. Um okay. Should be based on problems that this company helps customers solve like
Okay, see here, like it kind of forces you to have like three solutions.
right. Let's see. And be let's see. There you go. It's not bad, right? Okay.
Okay.
What you got for me? Now, literally all I'm going to do for GPT is just take this same exact thing after I create it.
Yeah, and then it puts it in this format.
Yeah. So like this is what sucks really bad is, we all know what's about to happen, right? That we're about to get a table formatted version of this. Let's
You can
just look.
ask it to
I was gonna
format it
say,
into a table.
I was gonna say,
Maybe it might work this time. Maybe it wants to like describe sunlight to you. Maybe it just hates me.
oh, okay. Well, let's try the data that you gave me.
Now you have to copy paste what it just told you.
Right? Oh wow, did
Okay.
it reform? Well, it reformatted it when I pasted it. What?
Hello. Why?
Okay. Let me just take that part out and see if it actually does it though.
Maybe it
Now
does
I don't know
something
what
that.
it's
Oh
gonna
wow.
table, right?
Okay. Okay, so it seems like it's a front end issue then, that like it's not formatting properly. Because it seems like if you just copy paste it's like fine, right? So
Yeah.
whatever the answers are fine, right? There's already some
Those?
code in there that line breaks it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's literally the front end itself is just not
Okay.
showing it.
So it just
So
looks
I
up
think
it first.
that's an easy fix, because they
Yeah,
can just
that's
like
yeah.
fix the code and just like make sure that it actually splits things, you know.
Yeah, we'll call that a happy ending. That's good.
So
It's
thank you for
not like
providing the data.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
the only thing. These buyer personas represent some of the common problems, blah, blah, by understanding specific pain points. Just didn't effectively position itself as a valuable tool for small business owners. I mean,
it asks you to provide the data, but then it is like now summarizing the
the use
information
of
at
the
the top.
data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
So
well,
it's
you
like
could
the
use it to do
memory
that.
memory is not there yet.
Okay,
All
so
right,
let's go
let's
to
do
a new guy. Um,
plugins.
we'll go with yeah. Are we gonna use chat? No, it's chatspot. We'll do web performance with web and scraper. That should be fine. All right, let's go get my
RevOps, the starter prompt.
Actually, you know what? I will show you. Yeah, screw it. I will show you guys this. Because why not? I've been using Claude to write GPT prompts lately. I've been telling Christine about this and like how amazing it is, in my opinion. Um,
I don't have
yeah,
access to
like
it because they don't let me in Asia.
it's. I feel so bad for you. I'm not even joking.
This is why
Um,
I talk to you.
okay, let's just start a whole new one. That'll throw you even more, right? So brand new chat. Um, It actually knows its name is Claude too. So like I tried to rename it the other day and it was like, oh sure, but my name is Claude. I'm like, oh, okay, well then we'll just go with Claude
Wow.
then.
I like how it's assertive in its own identity. I love that for him.
Yeah,
Her, I don't know, it.
right? Okay.
Wow. I like that. That is so good.
Right.
Oh, that'll be so useful.
That's what I'm saying, guys. So like this is why I tell people constantly, like, yeah, understand how prompts work. Yes, understand like what the engineering and crafting is behind it. Don't buy guides. Don't buy these books. Don't buy these videos and stuff. Like, don't pay for these courses. Like, you are throwing money away if you do that kind of stuff. Like, just take your time to understand how some of this stuff works. It takes like literal minutes. Like, you're taking 5, 10 minutes to understand this stuff, and you're getting amazing results, right?
Yeah, I was like saying like if people want training on like AI, I feel like just understanding some of the fundamentals of like how things work, what the different like technologies behind it are, I think that goes a longer way than trying to like take these courses that like essentially they're one off because like the technology is changing every single day and a lot of people were initially saying that like, oh, you need to learn prompt engineering, blah blah blah, but now you have all these like assistants because like these like generative AIs, right? Like you said, they love helping you. Their whole purpose is to help you. So, like a lot of the stuff that we thought like, yeah, you need to know prompt engineer or whatever. Actually, you can ask an assistant to help you. Wow,
Right.
that is pretty comprehensive.
Exactly.
What?
So
Yeah, so those are things that I didn't even like think of for,
that's the
prompting an
other part
actual
of it.
expert. Yeah.
Like, even though, we all know our jobs, we all know our jobs really well. Doesn't mean that we all think about our jobs from an omni perspective, right? From like every
Yeah.
angle possible. So
It
we're
also
going to do the
matters, like,
same thing.
saying the number of years experience sometimes because I think you would get,
True.
like, different outputs if you didn't say, like, "Oh, yeah, you have 10 plus years."
Let's see. I just want to change that so that it's not expecting it. Let's see. Close that. I always like that because it's just, I don't know,
It's
seems
nice
to
because at the
quiet.
the beginning, yeah, it makes it more friendly, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a primer, basically, to make sure that it's got the right instructions down. Let's see. So what did we do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
create buyer personas.
So we're just going to copy paste that exactly. And we're going to paste it here. Okay. Period at the end of it, though. So it's nice and formatted. So it's teaching us as it's going.
Wow.
It's breaking it down into further categories, right?
Yeah,
The
like the
difference
good thing
is
about it is,
magnanimous.
yeah, yeah. I like that it's teaching you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's not just spitting the data back out at you. Like it's not just feeding you the answer that you want to know,
Yes, adding like
right?
additional value of like things that you weren't even, you know, thinking about asking about really. It's kind of like what I said earlier. It's like as humans, we ask for one thing, but essentially we want more than that. And
Hmm.
I think with how OpenAI has been doing things, it is getting to that step where it is asking things. And yeah, I think I mentioned this last week how I've noticed that it actually asks more questions now rather than just answering whatever it is that you asked for.
Right. Like, yeah, I've noticed that too. Like it'll end something and then be like, "Can I help you out with anything else?" Or is that about it?
Or it's like, or what is it? So I think I was asking it to like calculate something, and it's like, okay, so usually to calculate this, you would do blah 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 XYZ. Would you like me to start calculating this way, or were there any methods that you were thinking about? And I was like, okay, are there any other methods? So it actually is a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I liked yesterday, I was trying to put a post together, and it was basically it started like writing in like a terrible method, and I was already like I don't know like an hour into it, so it was a little
Yeah,
weird that it like started going off course that quickly. So all I had to do was tell it like, "Hey, this sounds really different from how we used to write. Can you please go back to how we used to do things like 5 or 6 prompts ago?" And
yeah,
that's it. It corrected itself and just kept doing it the way we were doing it before. And I was just like, all right, well, I guess, now I can do 3 more chapters or whatever because I don't have to go back. I wish the only thing I need to try later is linking that to a new chat and hoping that that little like error segment doesn't get sucked up into the whole uses as a
yeah.
resource part of it. So,
That yeah.
but
So you have the personas there. It seems like it's a lot more in depth compared to ChatSpot and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess like if we're like we're kind of like wrapping up to the end of the episode here. At least from my take with ChatSpot, like it is an alpha, so you can't be like too hard on it. But at the same time, like it's not like you're missing out a lot if you're not using it. The only part really where you're missing out a lot is if you don't have Chat GPT um Pro, and like you don't have access to the plugins or code interpreter, because like you can see here, it's a lot more in depth in the amount of research it can do. And again, it kind of goes that next step where it's not just doing the things that you ask, but it's adding additional value. It's kind of like almost anticipating what else you will ask it, like 2 3 steps down the line. um and with ChatSpot, like there is like some functionality in it that is kind of working, but if you're trying to like actually have a conversation with it where it's trying to remember stuff from what you said before, like as you can see, like even like one message before, it kind of gets confused already. So
mm,
that whole memory functionality is not there yet. I think they'll probably sort that out because that's a really big thing. And
yeah,
again, like the formatting is another thing that I feel like they should fix. And I mean, hopefully they can focus on, I think, I'm just a little bit of feedback for them, I guess. It's like it seems like it's trying to do a lot of things right now. And maybe it's because they're in an exploratory phase, so like or whatever. But I feel like they should try to figure out like the one thing they want to focus on first and get that working as smoothly and as cleanly as possible before moving on to other bits of functionality on the platform. But again, like it's in alpha stages. I'm assuming they're still
Mhm.
trying to like figure out like what actually works well with their own API and with the open AI API and how they can actually make these conversations work. But like Nico said with HubSpot, how they do their development in general, it seems like they're really good at creating like polished betas. So yeah, I mean, I think it's still good to use ChatSpot just so you can give ChatSpot this feedback because I think if people aren't using it, then like it'll never get to that place where it will actually, enhance um the CRM basically.
Yeah,
So use it, but don't rely on it at the moment is what I'm kind of getting.
definitely.
What do you
And
want to add?
that's
Do you want to add to that?
I would just say like yeah, like very much what Christine said. Use it wisely. Just like any of these tools. Like I know I rant and rave about GPT and how awesome it is. But again, use it responsibly. Like that's like I keep saying a reason why we use the plugin versions is so that your data is more accurate. I'm not saying that it's perfectly accurate to the point where you don't have to go check things. We double check. I double check all the time, mainly because I really want to test the platform itself and be like, well, is it right? Is it accurate about what it said? Like I'm curious. But you guys should always be double checking that stuff. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I'm really, really excited and looking forward to the beta version of this because I know that it's going to be better. I mean, look, it is plowing ahead. It's not doing it, in the same length and to the same degree that the GPT does, but that's
Yeah.
fine. It just shows me that it's getting there, and this really isn't far behind. Like it really
Yeah.
isn't. So I'm actually kind of happy about how fast things have been moving forward. I
Yeah.
really the fact that they're baking things in too, because you know, not that it should be able to, right? It should be able to handle natural language processing better so that you can just ask it what you want and get what you're expecting. But that expecting part is what makes it different, right? Even when we were doing it with GPT to try to get the table data correct, like we still had to like phrase it exactly the way we knew that we wanted it to be in order for that to happen. So even GPT is not great at like guesstimating what it is that you want. It did do it
Yeah.
like I will give it that much. It did it accurately. I always look at it as an engineer, right? If you don't tell it put peanut butter on one side of one slice of bread and jelly on one side of the other slice of bread and put the two of those slices of bread together where peanut butter and jelly are facing one another, you won't get the right sandwich, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, really, I feel like what AI is forcing us to do is to just communicate our thoughts and our
We're
expectations
thinking
as
better. We're getting
specifically as
smarter.
possible. Yeah, exactly. And also
Yeah.
just writing skills, because
Yes.
like it takes a lot to even understand, because it is based off of natural language processing, right?
Yeah.
So if even if like you're using in instead of to or from, that actually changes what it thinks you're asking for. So having good
Grammar means
grammar
something
actually
again.
works a lot,
Yep.
like will
Yep.
actually matter basically.
No, it's to me, it's awesome. It really it gets us out of the funk that we were in, right? I now look, I've asked it. I've asked GPT before. This is funny. Um, the the word minute as it is commonly used today. Now that's a weird thing, right? It should be a pretty easy definition.
Yeah.
It can
Okay, wait a minute.
also, in addition,
Yeah.
right? So, let's see.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yes, informal colloquial language. See, so like, wow, really? That's sorry, that one's news to me. I didn't even know that was a thing. You have
Wow.
like this is what I'm talking about in terms of like learn something new every day. Wow. All right then.
The different
I'm done.
Englishes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, well, look, I'm not even joking. This is a perfect example of this is going way off topic, and I know that we're already over time, but this is a perfect example of where I told my wife, if you speak different dialects of English, technically you speak different languages, right?
Yeah,
Like
you
it
do.
might as well be
Yeah.
the same thing.
I learned that in school actually. Was it I studied language and communication. Like Hong Kong English is a different English than other Englishes. Basically, we have like our own terminologies. How do you understand that? This Claude. What model? Claude is based off of what? Is it like Bard or is it its own model? Its own model, right?
It's its own model from, gosh, Anthropic, which is run and owned by, well, I don't know by owned, but it's funded by Google. Adjective.
I mean, the more you ask these models this question, the more they'll understand. And like the next time somebody asks it, it'll be like, oh, yeah, yeah, minutes. Like it could be like a long period of time.
Hmm.
Worry about minute That's true,
Yeah,
actually. A
see,
minute,
yeah,
minute
yeah,
detail.
man, that reminds me of a comedian who did just that. His stand up was completely based on how
Minute.
we use language, right?
Yeah.
And like the fact that he would spell that out and be like, and then ask the audience, what does that mean? And then he'd put up something, he put up the same thing, and he's like, what does that mean? They'd say, minute, and he's like, nope, minute. And everybody would start
Minute.
laughing because they realize, oh yeah, that is the way our language is. It's stupid, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so,
Alrighty.
all right,
Well,
guys.
let's wrap up here. Thank you so much for joining us. Does anyone have any questions before we do hop off? I'm gonna give it a little bit because the little lag between streaming and actually
That's
like
right.
getting it to. Though I realize I think the lag is less on what do you call that on with this streaming platform we have
Oh,
on
okay.
right now. Yeah, I like this. We should definitely like use this more. All
Let's see.
right. Thanks so much for joining us today, Aaron.
Yeah, right.
We'll figure out what we're gonna cover next week.
I know.
What were you
That's
doing? What were you like thinking? Like I think you had a few ideas, so we'll just like go over that. We'll post it on LinkedIn so everybody
yeah,
knows what's going on.
yeah. We'll definitely we'll put it together uh, for this week and post pretty much the same as usual. Post on Wednesday, and I'll probably post something on Friday to remind people as well.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll figure out something that's going to be exciting for you guys to take a look at. Definitely, it's obviously going to do with marketing and dive deeper into all different aspects of it, revolving around GPT and Claude and all these other tools. So stay tuned.
Right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys. See you, Christine.
See ya.